that I'm loud, or they're like, you always use your hands. I'm like, I do. I can't control it.
But they wanted to sue.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, let's see. So just have a little notes. I'm gonna try not to look at my phone too much, but no, we'll flow. We'll stay.
Okay.
Stay engaged, and then if you mess up or if you want to stop talking, even me, like if I kind of have to think about questions, it's okay. Our team, we have a team that edits it and makes it look good. So.
Do you want me to look at you or at the camera?
Either one. It's, we can go back and forth.
Okay.
And, because a lot of times, like, you want to stay engaged with the camera, too, just because, like, you're looking and talking to the audience and stuff. But
watch.
Either way.
Cool.
All right. So, but we'll get started. So, here we have Coach Hanson with us with Mad Collectives. This is a head coach for El Camino women's basketball. We're excited to have you a part of, the podcast and, give a little bit about your background and some recruiting tips and things for our audience. So, I appreciate you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. So,
cool opportunity.
First, I'd like to get into your background a little bit. How you got into sports, how you got into basketball, and what sparked your love for basketball, love for sports.
Yeah, I would first say for sports, my parents worked for the Rams for 40 seasons. They actually just retired last year. So we're a big just sport family in general. My grandpa played for John Wooden, and my aunt won 2 national championships at UCLA for volleyball. This is my step family, but still like my chosen family, And so just have always had this love for sports at least. But my older sister started the love for basketball, and watching her grow up and play and be so successful and really young, she was kind of playing up and just was clearly really talented. That I'm a twin, and so me and my twin were like, we want to be like her. And so kind of really got into basketball. My brother played as well. But really, I think it was the elite level that my sister was playing at that we all kind of wanted to join in on that. And then I think we were just really lucky. We grew up in Orange County, but specifically, if you know the Samuelsons, 2 of them went to Stanford, 1 went to UConn. He started a team really young, and though Bonnie is my age, she played 2 years up, and that's my sister. And then the younger sister, who's 2-year, Carly, who went to Stanford too, was 2 years younger than me, but he created a team for like my age so she could play 2 years up. So we had really good coaching and training, kind of starting at a young age. I grew up with Kalina Lewis as well, like went to elementary school with her. And so just like felt really lucky to have some real good experts around me. My mom is my biggest cheerleader and just was telling me like, you're going to go to the NBA, WNBA. And as a kid, you just dream big. So it was really good, like at a young age, I feel, to be around people like, again, Kalina or the Samuelsons who were in the gym all the time. And I think that helped me really build that love for it, because you realize at a young age, like, it's about the work that you put in. You're not just going to be good naturally. And even like for them, I remember their dad being like, yeah, they get up at 6 a.m. and shoot. And I'm thinking like, what? Like, me and my siblings like barely make it to school on time. Like, so I think that kind of started it, but, really tried like to be in the club world and be really successful. But I did tear my ACL in high school. And I think that was a little bit of like, just a reality check. I think my skill wasn't there anyways, but it was a reality check for me that like, it's going to be a tough journey, and I probably won't go play college basketball at the 4-year level. So really, I started to focus on like, what can I do to make sure at least I get to the junior college level? And again, luckily, my sister went the junior college route as well. So I felt really lucky just to kind of follow in her footsteps, was recruited myself, which I feel like is cool to now be in the position of recruiting other kids. And what I remember or what I don't. But I played for Margaret Moore at Cypress College, and I say this in every people are going to say I'm a broken record because I say it all the time, but she is like the John Wooden of women's basketball. She cares so much more, and she's actually retiring this year, man. It makes me so sad. But she like cares so much more than just basketball. It is about your character. It is about your work ethic. It's about who you become as you become a successful adult in society. And I feel like she just like had such an impact on me. She's a Hall of Famer at Long Beach State. She coached for the Sparks. Like, and my IQ, my basketball IQ just grew exponentially with her. And at the junior college level, like in high school, you kind of don't know what you don't know. And then once you get to the college, you're like, whoa, like, really the JUCO level was my level. Like that's exactly where I needed to be. So having that experience and just like falling in love with that experience, realizing not only my potential, but how much harder I needed to work to really get to the next level was really, really impactful for me. So Coach Moore, love you. Like you got my heart. And I'll share more about it, but like, I hope to be that type of coach for my girls. Like Coach Corey Close says it out of UCLA. I like love UCLA, obviously. I went to UCLA, things like that after I graduated from Cyprus, but she always says you coach, or she said her assistant said it, but you coach for the 40, not the 4. But we only got kids usually 2-3 years, so I'm saying you coach for the 20, or the 20, not the 2, or you coach for the 30, not the 3. Just meaning like, yes, I hope they have a good experience basketball-wise. I hope we build their IQ. I hope we build their skill development. But at the end of the day, I also hope we build their hustle culture, their work ethic, like their character. Like they step into any room and are the brightest in the room because of how hard they work, because of how respectful they are, how collaborative, the leadership they bring. Like that's what I was taught, and like it's changed my life. And so just being in this opportunity, like I want to bring that too.
Yeah, no, that's inspiring. So talk about like what type of mindset did you build going through the ACL injury? I know you mentioned that, and I know it's tough recovering from an injury like that, even just to continue playing and then even to make it to the next level to play. So
and then I had 2 more surgeries in college. So I wanted to play after, but my body was pretty much done. It's all left knee, 3 knee surgeries. So I was done. I'm fortunate that I got to go to UCLA, but definitely like the mindset, like at least as I tore my ACL as a freshman, so I couldn't play my entire sophomore year. Of course, junior year, you're still trying to but that's your main recruiting year, and I'm just coming back, and I really wasn't as strong as I should have been and stuff. And at first I thought my life was over. Like I remember sobbing, like I'm not gonna go D1 when I wasn't gonna go D1. You know what I'm saying? Like you have big dreams, but what I love about, and I tell anyone who's going through an injury, specifically an ACL that's so long, is you learn the game through a different lens because you have to watch. All you get to do is watch. And so if you're still going to be a student of the game, how can you learn through watching? You also learn to become a really good teammate. Like you can't do anything on the floor, so what could you do on the sidelines? And I think that role changes. Even if like you're active and you get to be on the sideline, you're still, what can I do in the game? And but when you're sidelined, you don't have the opportunity to go in the game. Just how you lead and impact your team changes. And so I think I learned that young. And then as a sophomore at Cyprus, I had just come back from the 2 knee surgeries. So I was like trying to finish my last year, still kind of going through some like knee stuff, but trying to lead and try to make that impact. And then again, like reality hit as a freshman when I tore my ACL. And then the 2 that I had in junior college, I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep playing, which is equally as devastating because you're like, I worked this hard. I realized that I wasn't working hard enough. I put the work in. I showed up at 6 a.m. I did this. We're doing all this stuff to get to the next level. And then it's like, I don't know that would just be best for my body. I could have gone Division III, like sure, but like, and there's nothing wrong with that level. I just was like, I'm a great student, and I had dreams to go to UCLA just because of my step family's kind of influence on me. And so I just decided like, basketball, it's so easy as a player to think it stops when you stop playing. But for me, and I didn't recognize this right away, at first you're kind of ready for a break, but pretty quickly I was like itching, like I got to get back into the basketball world. So I was lucky to be at UCLA, lucky to do all the things I did there, but probably about 3 years after, because I did 2 years of finishing my undergrad, and then I worked at UCLA. I worked for the Peers Clinic. It's like an evidence-based social skills intervention, kids with autism, ADHD, anxiety, things like that. It was a great experience, and I stayed working for them, but I missed basketball, and I had to get back into the basketball scene. So
nice. So I saw that you went to UCLA and you got a degree in psychology, right?
I did, yeah.
So how does that help you in the coaching realm, or how do you feel like that shaped your philosophy as a coach with having that background in psychology?
Yeah, so I have my bachelor's from UCLA in psychology, and then I have my master's from Cal Baptist University in school psychology. I'm a school psychologist.
Okay.
And I think like people say like, your path is like so chosen for you, and like you end up where you're supposed to be, right? All those kind of inspirational things. But I like truly believe that. I know the Lord like blessed me on my path because in coaching there is so much mental toughness, mental health, grit, positive self-talk, all the things that you need to be successful. And so just using that background, not only as a coach as we go through ups and downs in our season and ups and downs in the game, but recognizing kind of some of the symptoms or some of the trials that my players are having and being able to approach them like, hey, what are you saying to yourself? What does your positive self-talk look like? Or I'm really lucky, just have a lot of mentors in my life. One of them, he's with UCLA now, but was with the Kings, and he sent me this little graphic they used to use called next play speed. And so what is your next play? What does that look like for you? How mentally are you? Yeah, you just turned the ball over, but what does your next play speed look like? Or he sent me another one, it's palms down. So instead of be like, what? Like, like that was a foul, or like, it's like palms down. Like, how are you regulating yourself in the game. And so what I do a lot with kids and in the school setting is emotion regulation, is just, like highlighting strengths and weaknesses. And so I think I feel really lucky and blessed to bring that into the basketball world, because though it's different, a lot of it is the same. It is about what's your strengths and weakness, and how do we highlight those strengths but also build on the weakness? How do we keep you mentally tough? In an injury, you're probably feeling really down. We have a girl right now who tore her ACL, and she called me one day just crying, like, I don't know if I could do this. I feel no purpose. I feel like I'm lost. And so, and not only having experienced the injury myself, but also understanding what does that devastation look like, and how do we work through that? Because she could have very easily been like, I'm done. Like, thank you. I should be a sophomore. Not worth it, right? But she's rehabbing, she's working it out. Hopefully, because not only, again, we've built those tools and all of that we've kind of utilized to really build her up to stick through it and like know the adversity will make her better. But also, hopefully, she believes in my vision and my dream of the program and where I want it to go, and just what an important piece she is in that puzzle. And so I think a lot of coaches are really great. I think a lot of coaches bring a psychology background, whether they actually have it or not. But I do think so much of the game is mental. I mean, they say that, what is it, like 92% of the game you don't have the ball in your hand, something like that. I'm going to mess that stat up, but something like really small percentage of the game. So what are you doing to impact your team? A lot of it is mentally and emotionally. Or again, I'm all about being a great teammate. Like I care about how you treat your teammates, how your energy impacts our game or our practice. And so that is a lot of looking inside. That's being reflective. That's, what type of work are we doing? And we're very lucky. We work with one mental performance trainer and one like sports psychologist who just helps us with that too. So I don't have all the answers, but I definitely try to bring a lot of positivity and love and just like the mental side of the game to them, just because it is so important.
I agree, especially coming from the baseball background. It's a very mental game too, and I commend you for bringing those resources in to be able to have those resources for players to go and talk and just build the mental side, because it gets tougher when you get into college, because it's not.
Well, there's like that big shift in college, but it's also like, I'm also your coach. Not that I can't tell you, but at times it's not received the same. Or for me to hold a whole like sports psych session and then go be your coach and yell at you at the same time, like that's different. So like Amanda Mills with Bolt Training, she's like one that's really big for our team, helps me develop a lot of our team bonding trips or activities, and then helps our girls. And then we also work with, they have a podcast, mental training room or something. I'll give you a little sticker. We'll hold it up so that I get it right. But they've been coming too. So I feel lucky to have those outside people who honestly are donating their time. Like just friends of mine, Amanda Mills is like my best friend. And then the mental training room was just somebody who reached out, who's also trying to build her business, but was a Division I basketball player herself, is in the area and wants to give back. So it takes a village, like they say. And I'm just like so grateful to be in this position. The fact that I have this opportunity is kind of crazy to me. Like I didn't have head coaching experience. I was interim for a little bit, but like, it's just the way that things work out. Like it's just a beautiful thing. So I'm like so lucky to be here, and I'm hoping like not to mess up, but like my dreams and goals for what this program can be are really big. And so it's like I gotta hone in on that. I gotta protect that so deeply. I gotta make sure we're so intentional with every single movement so that it turns into what I want it to turn into. Because kind of like my basketball career, it didn't just happen overnight, right? Like you put that work in, you realize what you gotta do. And so I gotta do that with my program, but I also gotta instill that in my girls. So whether they play for me 1 year, 2 years, or they have an injury and they stay for 3, they end up leaving with, again, I'm the hardest worker. I'm the kindest person in the room. I'm respectful. And just my communication and my leadership is unmatched. So it's kind of my goal.
That's good. Well, we can move a little bit more into that. So first, I want to congratulate you for getting the position. I saw it was your first year with the position. So what are some, I guess, like, talk about what are some things that, you encountered, taking this position that maybe you weren't expecting, maybe is like difficulties that come along with it, or even the positives that come along with it. Talk about,
for sure,
some of the new experiences that come along with a head coach.
Yeah, so I was mentioning I was hired in July, which is awesome, like so grateful, but pretty late in the game for like the JUCO world. Right now, we started recruiting as early as November, and we're gonna end in like, February, March, and we hope that kids commit by, again, April, May, so that they come to your summer program. But being hired in July, I had a meeting the day before our summer program started, and 4 kids came. And so I was like, yes, I have 4, but like that's not even enough to play a game. And so I think initially it was just calling everybody I knew, reaching out to every club team, every coach in the area, any kids on campus who've ever filled out a survey about being interested in basketball. But I think initially the big challenge was just finding the bodies, getting the numbers. I also mentioned that, if they still had eligibility, just finding kids with eligibility. So this year we have 3 30-year-olds with eligibility coming back, and 1 25-year-old, and then the rest are, 18, 19, 20. But they had eligibility left. But again, even like one of them was ineligible for the first half of the season because of her GPA 10 years ago. So like there's just been all this little things that it's not only finding the bodies, but then what are the rules and do they have the right units, and it's like 24 and 12 and the GPA and just all of that stuff. So we hit the ground running, trying to find the bodies, then finally getting them in the gym because a lot of those older girls, they work full time. So they couldn't come to our summer program because I was given the time slot 1:30 to 3:30. They work till 5. So like in the summer, we were very small in number, working a ton on skill just because, again, they're wonderful. They work very hard, but we definitely needed a lot of skill development and still do, honestly. So it was really like trying to just find the skill and get so many reps in just to get like the mechanics right and things like that. And then in August, putting it together. Okay, now we're all a big happy family, one big team, but we have zero chemistry. We've never played together. There is the age gap. There's kind of the respect gap in a sense. There's the skill gap. So really trying, and then I'm a brand new coach. You don't know me. You don't know my style. I have assistants that are just as loud as me and assistants that are quiet, but when they speak, everyone listens. So it's like just the dynamic was really challenging in the beginning. And so that was like, I think the first challenge. But now we're building, our skill has built a lot. And now we're just trying to put it all together. I would have said previously, like at Sage Hill, us making it to the state finals, that was all, I believe, like I'm a huge defensive specialist. Our scouting reports are extremely detailed. We really study other people's tendencies, just the plays, what plays are they running, what's the call, like just things that I believe they do. I know they do at the higher levels. And I'm not even an expert in that, but as best as I can do it, I'm going to do it. And so I believe the success that we had at the high school level. And again, I learned all that from Coach Moore, though, and from the Cypress family and the Cypress team that I was with after UCLA, just in scouting and all recruiting and all that. But so bringing that to us and now teaching the girls, how do you read a scouting report? And we put clips, video clips of each girl, like we take from their last 3 games, like I think it's like 3 minutes of their makes. But what did their makes look like? So again, let's notice the tendencies. Let's notice are they right-handed, left-handed? Do they typically like favor this or that? And so just teaching them to read the scouting report, but then implement the scouting report. And in that same breath, I am a defensive specialist. So for me, coaching-wise, the offense has been tough. Not because I don't know how to run an offense, but I love defense. I focus on defense. And so being the leader of the offense, and again, kind of just having different skill. Our chemistry took a little bit longer than I expected. How do you run things correctly and like just putting your strengths at the forefront when you are having a down game? Or we've been riddled with injury a little bit. We have 11 girls, and I think at most I always have 7 or 8. So it's always different kids. And so just like for me, the learning side was a little bit of the offense, but I'm really lucky. I was under Kerwin Walters at Sage Hill, who runs a beautiful offense. Again, he was like the offensive mastermind at Sage when we went to state. I was the defensive. So now I'm getting the opportunity to grow to like put them together. But I also want to shout out my assistant coaches. Like they helped me so much. And like Mike Vasquez, he just was at San Jose State and was at Cal State Fullerton before. So Division I experience and been at that level. I met him at Cypress, so he knows Coach Moore as well. And we have very similar backgrounds in training, but he knows what I need and what I want. And he's got like specific skills and talents that I use on the bench. Jordan Terakina, she is with North South. That's like kind of a all-star Asian league in the area. She's kind of my quiet one, but she connects with the girls so well that, outside of practice or something, she'll be like, hey, I think you need to check in on so-and-so, or hey, I heard this. So she brings a lot of insight to us and is great on the bench as well. Cheyenne Gibbons just played at Long Beach State, was at Pepperdine before that. She's like my youthful little tenacious one. Like she gets them fired up. She tells them she needs more. Because again, I can say it as much as I want, but sometimes they just need to hear it from someone else. So we just share like that ownership and accountability. And then Steve Harris, he's been in the high school world. I feel like every gym we walk into, 30 people know who he is. He's my recruiting coordinator, and he's been helping just go to every single high school game in all of the greater Los Angeles area to be like, I think we need to call this kid. I think like, hey, you need to go check out this kid. Let's try to get this kid's number. Let's try to see this kid again. And so it takes, again, our whole team collectively is learning and juggling a lot of new roles, but at the same time, like I would not want to do it with anyone else because they got my back, I got their back. And I feel like we're all giving each other a lot of grace. Like, okay, we did this well, but we got to do this well. We forgot to reach out to this kid, or like, so I think we're just learning together, and I'm hopeful again. Like I do hope to be one of the best teams in SoCal very soon, make it back to a state championship very soon. But everyone keeps telling me Rome wasn't built in a day, so I'm trying to breathe. I know it doesn't seem like it. I got a lot of energy, got a lot of like hopes and dreams, but at the same time, trying to focus on building my culture, building the impact that I want these kids to leave with. We do Cliff Baker's my skill development. And so just working on like, what are we doing today that's going to build them up, not only basketball-wise, but academically, social, emotionally, physically, like just how do we propel them in the best direction forward so that when they leave, they just really have so much opportunity.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's very powerful, especially dealing with, all that's coming with this position. So just talk a little bit about, the challenges or even going through managing athletes with such a big age gap. I find that to be really intriguing that you said you found some 30-year-olds and you have some 18. So talk about that. How is that? And then keeping that common culture in the locker room, because I'm sure it's a lot that you're having to deal with. So how do you manage that?
I mean, I feel like we've had a lot of conversations about how people receive feedback, because at first I think it was perceived or taken as, well, the older girls are telling us what to do and the younger girls don't have a voice or aren't respected or aren't this or that. And I didn't hope for that, and I don't think we created that, but I think naturally at times, and the older girls just naturally have more experience. They've been playing in whatever leagues prior to this or just for fun and things like that, but so they bring a different level of experience. And it's not that I don't value the younger kids' voices and opinions, but I think, again, we had to have honest, hard conversations about like, we start the season off with like, after they've, been with us for quite a few times, it was right before our first game started. What does your role look like? And we got to define the role. And then, okay, once we define your role, like, what are some things we need from you? Like, again, big positives that you bring to us. What's areas you're going to grow? And then what feedback do you have from us? What's not working well? Like, how do we grow as a coaching staff? And so again, a little bit in the beginning, it was like, well, some of them were just saying, I feel like the older girls, like they don't respect me, or we found out early that a lot of them were talking about the age gap. So we squashed it. Like, no, we're not saying the older girls. I know I've said it now, but we're not saying the older, like you are all here to play basketball. We are all here to win and grow in each other and as teammates and whatever. So like the age gap at this point doesn't matter. Like what matters is how hard are you going? What does your work ethic look like? How did you encourage your teammate, whether you're 30 or 18? I actually have one 17-year-old. So it's just like, we got to focus on our job, what we're supposed to do and what we're trying to highlight versus the age, versus the experience. And again, we do really vary in skill level. So also whether you're 19 and my best player or 31 and my best player, how are you leading the kids who just need a little bit more like perspective, like not that they're not trying, but maybe they've never seen that. I've had a few kids, or this year again, just where we started, like they didn't know what help side was. They didn't know what the one more is. Like, so just how are we as coaches delivering that message? But also if you're older or younger or whatever, if you know that skill, how are you helping your teammate understand that? So we just, again, had a lot of conversations about what our vision and values are, like, again, with the culture, what we want to be known for, how we receive feedback. That was honestly after a game. We had gotten in a fight during the game. People are yelling on the bench, all this. I'm like, oh my gosh, but it sparked a really good, hard conversation. Everybody went around, how do you like to receive feedback? And for the kids that were like, in the moment, I need a minute. in the moment, you can't run up to me and be like, I need you to, you know, some people can do that and some people can't. So we've really, as coaches, and again, I'm not doing it all right. We've had many moments where we're like, she can't receive feedback like that. Like we did it wrong, but really trying to remember, hey, she needs a minute. Or like, hey, she does better if we send Coach Jordan to the end of the bench to be like, hey, can I just share one thing with like a little bit calmer? But I also have kids that tell me all the time, because I'm very positive, very encouraging, like, Coach, I need you to yell at me. Like, I need to know you're mad. And I'm like, okay, like that's not like my first, you know, but just finding that balance of, and I think whether you have the age gap or not, you have that on every team. You have kids that maybe it's the way they were raised or the way their parents spoke to them, but they like the tough love. And you have kids that like kind of crumble with even the slightest suggestion. And so I think every coach goes through that, but for sure, this year has been quite challenging. But again, I'm like, as tough as it is, I'm learning more than I feel like I've ever learned in my life. Just in being my own, like a leader to my team, and in communicating, in the relationships I want to not only develop, but then keep. So it's like, how do I, and we have a team meeting at 6, because it's like, we just got to go over something that happened on Friday. And so we just have a lot of meetings. We try to collaborate, but it's supposed to be an open space. And anytime I hear it's not, or one kid isn't feeling that way, we got to address it. It's hard, it's uncomfortable, but it's like, we got to get it out there. And sometimes it's more of a private meeting, just one-on-one, or like me and my coaching staff. And sometimes it's in front of everybody. And so we really just try to be honest. And they know that like one of our values is transparency. And so, but respectful transparency, right? And then that accountability piece. If we told, or a kid shared that she doesn't receive feedback by yelling, and her teammate runs up to her to yell, we got to say, hey, come on. Like, nope, give her a minute. Or we've really been focusing on, this has been a huge thing for us, because again, just the skill is, the level is different, is focusing on, you can say something positive or you can say something neutral, but your coaches will give constructive criticism or feedback. And so that's been big for us, just because though we want them to lead, we've learned this year, a lot of us are having trouble taking that feedback from a teammate. So we decided the coaches will coach a little bit more and give that constructive. Your teammate is neutral or positive. And again, positive things like, I got you in the corner. Or I got you up the court. I got your rebound. I got like I statement, so that it's not like, you didn't see me in the corner, I was wide open. I got you next time in the corner. Like something positive that still highlights like, you know, I got your back, but also like, I'm here for you. Like, not like you missed that, but you know, like next time, here's another option. So we're really just, the way we reframe, that's a coping strategy that I learned through psychology. How do we reframe the negative and turn it into a positive and keep everybody like, okay, my bad, I got you, you know? So it's been challenging for sure, but I'm learning a lot.
No, I like it. I mean, and it sounds like the passion is there, and it seems like you're, you know, doing the right things to push the right culture. So, you know, I commend you for the effort that you're doing. So
thank you.
Let's get a little bit into like the recruiting aspect, as far as it's coming from your perspective as both a player and a coach. You know, kind of talk to me about, you know, what were some things that you may have done successfully as a player, and then what are some things that you look for in a coach for, you know, say an athlete in high school looking to play at the next level? You know, what would you recommend for them to start working on or start doing, you know, right now?
Yeah, because I'm a defensive specialist, I feel like defense is a lost art. I love the NBA, I love the WNBA, I love college ball. And I think you do see it obviously with certain players, so no disrespect to anybody, but defense to me is effort. It's intentionality. Of course, yeah, a little bit of skill or like quickness, a little bit of, you know, your height and things like that. But a lot of it is your strategy. And so that takes thought process, that takes, you know, like really specific, just thinking process. And again, strategy is like the best word. So as a player, I wasn't a big scorer. I maybe averaged like 6 points a game. I love to shoot, but I didn't always make it, right? And I think I learned once I had knee surgery and stuff that the angles that I take matter more than just me being crazy up in their shorts, right? And so one thing I look for sure is, are kids just committed to defense? Are they sitting in a stance? Are they in help side? I think, again, help side, some people don't know what that is. And at the high school level, like if you're coach or you're, you know, as you're learning your club, whatever, like that's really important, because your teammates, the chance of them getting beat is pretty high. Like that's how people score. And, you know, basketball is a pretty high scoring game. And so are you there to help? And then are you helping the helper? Like there's just so much strategy to it. So for sure, defensively, I think rebounding has, again, kind of become, a lot of people could rely on their athleticism, their height, like things like that. And so there's like, in a sense, a strategy to rebounding. Are you finding a body? Are you turning and holding with body weight? Coach Moore taught me, like, you pin them in between your arms. Like, are you doing all those things to show the refs, oh, I'm not holding them down low? Like, I just think there's certain things that I wonder if you've been taught that yet, or I watch for coachability. If somebody were to tell you that, like, maybe it's not specifically rebounding, but your coach kind of showed you this or that, or mentioned this, do you try to do it the next time? Are you receiving that? Or are you kind of blowing them off? I think attitude too. I love that kids are getting exposed, Instagram, all the things, but I've heard recently in the high school world and experienced it a little bit at Sage that now kids are scared to get embarrassed. So now I'm just not going to try. It's easier to say I wasn't trying than try and get embarrassed. And so that's character to me. What does your character look like? Are you digging deep? You don't care if it's the best player on the face of this planet, but you're just going to give it your all. I'd rather you fail, but show me the courage you had, than you not try and maybe like, well, maybe I could teach her to play defense, or maybe we could get that out of her. I want to know that you're coming in with a dog mentality, and all I got to do is teach you, again, the angles a little bit more, or the this or the that. So for me, it's a lot of defense and a lot of like attitude and effort. Again, offensively, if we want to be successful, of course, there's a few things. How does your shot look? Are you looking for opportunities? Are you more of a driver or a shooter? What do you look like down low if you're a post? Are you finding the kick out? I think the one more is like completely lost, or most successful teams have a lot of ball movement. And because of wonderful people like Kobe Bryant and Caitlin Clark and all the, like the WNBA, like, is amazing. But I think it's easy for kids to just see that high level skill and be like, well, it's just going to be me. And instead of really, it's a 5-person game for a reason. And a lot of the times, like, those successful WNBA athletes and in the UCLA right now, like the collegiate level, it's because of the windows the kids are finding and the one mores that are being made. Even when it goes into Lauren Betts, it comes out a lot because they collapse. She finds that extra kid or her teammate, and then they knock it down. So I just kind of look for, like, what is their IQ? We call it basketball IQ. Like, what does that look like? And I guess as a coach, that's what I'm looking for. But again, as a player, I was like a big defensive. As a coach now, I think the attitude is huge. How are they treating their team when they get pulled? Unfortunately, it's very common. Kids get pulled, like, barely give a high five, like, and so, like, attitude. What does that look like? And maybe it was because you made a mistake or you disagree with the coach. Maybe it's a quick breather. Like, are you overthinking that? I've also heard, we kind of dealt with this at the high school level. People were mad they were the first sub out. But then you're maybe the first one back in, right? Like, so instead of like overthinking about the game, just, are you doing what you can control? And I think that's the biggest thing. If kids want to be successful, if they focus on themselves, every ounce of effort, energy, intentionality, their position, their role, if you own your role, I think it's very easy to get to the next level. Nice. But because of social media and just natural, like, it is natural to kind of worry about others and stuff. But the more you feed into that, I think the less successful, unfortunately, you're going to be. So we're trying to build that, but it's not easy. Like, it's hard to learn. It's hard to continue to hold kids accountable. Like, it goes both ways, but we're just really hoping to highlight that and, again, show them what a great teammate they are when they make the one more, when they give the high five, the positive touch. We talk about positive touches, or say that encouragement. Like, we're really trying to build one game a few games ago. We had a bunch of the other team got offensive rebounds, called them O boards. And so I said at half, every O board is what a ladder. So it's like free throw. It's a long run, pretty much. I don't know if you know. But at the next practice when we came in, I said, okay, you owe me 11 ladders, which is a lot. And I said, but for every positive word, encouragement that I hear, that I catch, you saying to your teammate before the end of practice, I'll take one off. But I said, you can't be like, good job. Like, I need it to be natural. I need it to be genuine. Like, and so it was crazy. And again, we've kind of tried to do it now moving forward, but just, that was something I just thought of. But the loudness of our practice and the encouragement that I heard, because we're really good at giving a positive touch, but we're not as great vocal leaders right now. And so, one, I'm looking for that as I recruit, but two, how do I build that with the kids that I got? And so I felt like our practice, everybody was like, good job. Like, I see you. That's a great shot. Good box out. Like, and again, most of the time I tried to focus on when they gave a positive, when something negative happened. They knocked down a three. It's really easy to be like, good shot. Right. They missed a three. You got the next one. That's what I need. I need that confidence build. I need that you're not mad at me. Or they turn the ball over. Like, no worries. Rub it off. Like something like that, I'm going to take one off just because it's like, let's build that culture of holding each other accountable, but also lifting each other up. Like, you're good. I got you next time. Things like that. So kind of things. I don't know if I answered the question, but
that was good. That was good.
Yeah, just looking for kids that are willing to work hard and be great people. Or I'm going to build them to be great people.
That's good. And so do you host any like workouts or clinics or things, or, if there was a player even interested in this program, how would they showcase their skills to you?
Yeah, I mean, they can reach out to me via email. Really, right now, we're going through all the high schools. So if you did email us, we'd love to come check you out. But the high school season is kind of ending. So if you are a senior and you'd like to come, we do have on our website, on the ECC El Camino's like athletics website, there's like an inquiry and you can fill it out and then it gets sent to me that you're interested. In the spring, we will host a spring class, technically for our girls. If they are in the class, they can participate with us in practice and see what my coaching style looks like, kind of what skill development looks like, because spring is a really big skill time. But even if they're not in the class, they can still come watch and kind of get a feel. We're going to give campus tours, campus visits. We want to talk about your major, what you want to study. How do we get you to the next level? I'm sure if you're playing basketball, you hope to go play basketball. But also, what would that look like if your career, in a sense, ended at the JUCO level? What do you want to study? Because there is more to life than basketball. Like, again, I'm a school psychologist. I got 2 jobs. Like, sometimes you got to make it work until you get to the place you want to get to. Sometimes that's basketball. Sometimes it's not. And then we're really lucky, too. It's a league not connected really to us, but it's called Santa Monica Women's League. They rent our gym, and I just come and sit in the gym and just try to watch. Is there anybody who has eligibility, anybody in the Los Angeles area playing pickup? Again, it's through them. You sign the waiver through them, all the things, but they happen to rent our gym. So it's a really great way for me to just kind of catch that diamond in the rough of they came, they're pushing themselves, they want good pickup, but I obviously we have to make sure at the end of the day, if they're interested, that they get enrolled in the classes, that if they've already went to college, they got the GPA or the units to play for us. If they've already used 2 years of eligibility, then unfortunately they can't play for us. But it's just like, we're looking for kids all the time, and if you're working hard and you're really wanting to get to the next level, we believe we can get you there. So happy to kind of drop my email or shout us out. You can always follow us on Instagram too. You can DM us on Instagram. Like anyway, any coach that you can get a hold of, people that I said, or anyone who knows our program, like would love to come check them out.
Nice. All right. Well, now we're getting close towards the end, but a couple more questions to wrap it up. So I know this is, first year, kind of a rebuilding, a learning opportunity for you. So where do you see the program, or what are your goals, the next couple years with the program? Like, where do you see yourself the next few years?
I mean, in the JUCO world, there's a few teams that like you hear their name and you're like, oh, they're probably the best in the state, or they're top 4, right? My goal would be to be one of those names, like, Mount Sacs up there. I would say Cypress, because of course I went to Cypress, but I also think they always have a solid team. Palomar in the San Diego area, there's like well-known programs that kids are like, I want to go there, or they get, whether it be 4-year bounce backs because they're well known for their reputation, for the culture, for the coaching staff. I'm trying to build that, and I know we're going to get there. I know I have the staff to do that. We're also, thinking about a few others who are going to join us next year. But right now we're looking for the kids that are going to work super hard, going to be coachable, allow me to kind of share my vision, my dream, but also you bring something so special to us. Anyone who comes play for us, we really believe like you are it's like corny, but like important piece of that puzzle. So how do we put it all together to not only be so successful ourselves, but I want to get you to the next level. I want you to go play D2, D1, NAI, whatever it is. And then also you get to study and do all those things. But I mean, top 5 in the state would be in the next few years. I don't know if that's too advantageous. Again, I think I'll eventually get there, but like I'm hopeful that our turnaround is quick. There's been a few younger coaches more recently in the junior college world who have done it. Again, it probably took them 3 or 4 years. So I know, again, Rome wasn't built in a day. I got to be patient and stuff, but I do believe I'm going to get there. And being at the state championship level, I know it was the high school level, but Division I in Golden One Center, was the craziest experience of my life. Like there's so many moments I will never forget, and we lost. So like it hurt. Like I've never kind of held on to a game for as long as I did and still do. Like it was such an honor to be there. It was such an incredible experience winning the Southern section to get there. The joy, the preparation, like it is about the journey. It's not about the destination. Like, was it so cool to get there? Yes. But I feel like just the team that we had, the chemistry, the preparation, like just like all the things that we did to make it to that spot are things that I will cherish forever. And like, I was so proud. Like it's just the best feeling. And so my goal is to be in a state championship and win a state championship in the next few years. We're going to get there. But yeah. And then again, I want any kid that comes out of this program, any young woman who comes out of this program to be like a difference maker. Like I really believe the work ethic. Oh, sorry. If you move around, the lights will go back on. Yeah. I really believe that, like, you know, anyone who walks through our program, hopefully when they leave, they leave with like top-notch character, again, communication and leadership that is just next level, that whether they're only going for academics, whether they're going to be a student athlete, or they just go into the workforce, that they make that big of a difference, that people like recognize them. They're getting promoted, they're getting opportunity, they're getting internships because of how they carry themselves, how they treat others, and just how much effort and intentionality they put forth into everything they do.
Nice. I love the passion. I'm gonna check back in. I felt like you'll get there. I feel
like you're
pushing the
come
program
see us in a
forward
few
for sure.
years. Yeah.
Nah, I like it. All right. Well, last thing. Before we get out of here, so what is one thing that you would leave with families or an athlete that is looking to play at the next level, or even it could be like a message to your younger self? What is something that you would leave with them, as far as wanting to get to the next level, or wanting to, see that growth, or see that next step?
And our skill development trainer actually says it. I'm gonna butcher it, but it's something like, if there's a bad teacher, you could still learn. Like, could you still learn from a bad teacher? People are like, no, you can. There's a lot that you could still learn. So I would say be coachable. Like, we hope you have great coaches. I hope to be a great coach, but I make mistakes too. I'm human. Like I either make the wrong choice, or I've had a bad day, or like there are moments where I'm not my best self, but still what you bring into practice, what you take from practice, what you learn from the games, how you, again, just develop yourself. Like there's so many things telling you to worry about other people or compare yourself to other people. Don't do that. Like just worry about what can you control and how do you become your best self. And so I think, like, again, whether it just be a club team you're playing for and it's a rough season, or your high school coach, or it's just a one-time trainer and you didn't vibe with them, you didn't like how they talked, you didn't like the drill, what can you get out of it? There's still something you can get out of it. So I would just say be coachable and like push yourself. You can even teach yourself in that moment, whether it be you learn to like not be a hothead, you learn to keep your composure, you learn to go hard even when, again, you didn't feel the drill was as efficient as it should be, or as quick, or as this or that. Even you go to a camp and you're the best one, right? Well, there's no talent here, I'm not gonna get any better. No, you could still get better, you know? So I would just say, like, never settle, never be, like, don't be complacent. Like you gotta keep pushing, and there is always opportunity to learn and get better. All the college athletes, the WNBA players will say that. So I do believe in that. But come play for me. I would love to have you, and would love the opportunity just to coach you. Again, you're gonna get a lot of fiery energy. We have a lot of fun, but you're also gonna like hopefully become the best person you can be. So.
Nice. Yeah. No, that was good. And that could apply to a lot too. So I appreciate you. We'll wrap it up there.
Thank you.
Again, Coach Hanson with El Camino women's basketball. Appreciate you for joining us, and look forward to seeing the growth.
Thanks for having me. Go Warriors.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. That was nice.
Thank you.
That was nice. I appreciate it.
That was our athletic director who walked in. So, and not that it's bad. It's not bad at all. But I was kind of like, she's probably going to text me like, what'd you do?
Oh, right.